Yes sir, YouTube, what's poppin', what's happening? It's your boy Bricasso. We back at it with another one. Today I'm coming at you with a low taper from my man Steven. Let's do it. First we're gonna start by combing the hair down, making sure that everything is laid and ready to go. Next thing you know, we're gonna hit it up with the tool with the grain. We want to make sure that our strokes are really consistent, that everything is laid down at the same level, because it will look darker in areas that you didn't lay down. As you can see, my man's corners are looking a little light. I have a little sum for him at the end of the video. Stay tuned till the end. So we're gonna start by attacking it with the back taper. I feel like the back taper is super important in a blowout because that's the last impression that people are gonna be left with. So I'm gonna attack it from the beginning, make sure that it's straight, crispy, and then I'm gonna match the front with it. You want to maintain the neckline as natural as the lineup. It's really important because when it's gonna start going back, you're gonna see it. So with all that said, take your time on the lineup. It's the most important part of the haircut. This is what it's gonna definitely make your haircut stand out. So on this side, you get a better angle to see what I'm doing. You want to comb the hair down to make sure that the overlaying hair can lay down and you can take them out cleanly. For most people, the neckline is a sensitive part of the body, so take that in consideration and be light-handed when you get to do this lineup. With a 1.5 guard, we're gonna go all the way up to the weight. We're just trying to debulk the back so that once we get to that fading part, it's gonna make it easier for us to see. We're really not trying to make no lines, we're just trying to blend it in basically. Over here I flip the clipper over and I go with the grain to make sure that the hair is laying down into the fade. Attention to details goes a long way. With a trimmer of your choice, you could go ahead and establish your bald guideline. Make sure that the guideline is relatively low enough to give yourself enough space to fade it all the way to the top. With the no guard open, we're going to go ahead and establish our first panel. You want to make sure you want to keep it a 1/2 inch to below this, because depending on your client's head, you don't have that much space to work with in the back. Closing the lever halfway, we're going to go right beneath the line that we just did and make sure that we're blending it all the way. With the lever all the way closed, we're going to close out this panel and make sure that there's no bottom line. The bottom line is the line that we first established with the liners. With the 0 guard all the way open, we're going to go ahead and establish our second panel, which should blend right into our 1.5 that we established in the beginning. Fading into tighter areas like this, you don't want to use the whole blade flat on the skin unless you are really trying to take a lot of bulk out, but we're really trying to finesse this fade in. Close the lever halfway and go right underneath the line that you just did. You want to make sure that you're looking at your haircut from all angles, step back, change the lightings, make sure that everything is proper. Close out this panel, you might as well close the lever and go right under the line that you just did to make sure that everything is smooth and blended. Now with our 1 guard all the way open, we're going to repeat the same process and establish our last and final section. We initially debulked with a 1.5, so this guard is really going to come and connect our fade. As you can see, I'm pulling the skin, making sure that I'm getting all the hair, and for another reason, I'm lacking in space, so pulling the skin is going to give me the space that I need to flow it in. And now for the lineup, the most important part of a haircut. Basically, as you can see, I'm sketching out what I'm going to do. You want to keep the lineup as natural as possible, and you want to start from the middle and work your way out to the sides. Why, you'll ask me? Take a piece of paper, try to draw a line from the middle to the sides and from left to right. Our goal here is not to make the lineup as sharp as possible, because regardless we're going to go over it with the straight razor. Right now I'm just trying to make it as balanced as I can and keep it as natural as possible. Make sure to comb the hair in the direction that the hair grows in. It's really important, especially when you're lining up. Your mirror is your best friend. Make sure to take a look at him every single time you get the opportunity. You see that lighter corner right there? I kept it natural, but I have something for him. Stay till the end of the video and you'll see what I'm talking about. You want to come as close as you can to a 90-degree angle at the junction of the side lineup and the front lineup. Keep in mind the principle that everything you take off is going to come back. So the less hair you take off on the lineup, the longer it's going to last and the happier your client is going to be. For that corner, you really want to take it out and not in. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about, but as you saw, I took the corner on an angle and took it out just like that. I'm pulling out and not in, and this is what's really gonna create that corner, keep it symmetrical, and make it smoother for you. You know what I'm saying? Same thing goes for the second side. What makes it easier is that you could use the first one as reference, and that's what you always should do because stuff should be proportionate. As you can see, I'm not doing too much. I'm just going over the lines that were already there. This is one of my regulars. He comes in about every week or every 2 weeks. So his hairline never grows out of proportion. It's pretty easy. And for all the barbers out there, I recommend you to get your clients to come in every 2 weeks, because it's going to make your job a lot easier and you're going to be a lot more efficient. You'll have more time to do more clients. Make it easier on yourself and train your clients to do exactly what you want them to do. This is a little trick that I do to make sure that both of my corners are symmetrical. I put the comb on one corner and basically travel it to the other corner, and if they match, they match. My man right here wants the thickest beard that he can get, so I'm gonna take his line really high. Not trying to take anything out really, just trying to make it cleaner than what it was. For that bottom neck area, it's the same principle as the lineup. We're going to start from the middle and work our way out to the edges. Just like the neckline, the bottom of the neck is a sensitive area of the body. Be careful and do not apply too much pressure to cause an unnecessary irritation. I got a ceramic blade on my slim lines. I feel like they cut sharper and people don't feel it on their skin, you know what I mean? It runs a lot smoother. So I believe that having a ceramic blade will reduce the amount of friction and irritation that you'll cause to the skin. Right here you get a better angle of that beard lineup. As you can see, I'm really not trying to take as much off. I'm just trying to sketch my line so that I can come back again with the straight razor and make it really sharp and defined. The straight razor is really what's gonna make your lineup pop. Everything that we did leading on to this was basically sketching in. The most fundamental part of using the straight razor is to pull the skin. You don't want to pull the skin too tight to make your client feel uncomfortable, but you want to pull it tight enough so that the blade could glide on the skin. As you can see, I'm doing a dry shave. I am not using the lubricant on the skin, but you could be using a shave gel to make it easier to glide. You also want to hold the straight razor at a certain angle. I would tell you a 45-degree angle to make sure that you don't nick the skin and actually cut it open. So now that we laid down our foundation, we could go ahead and start fading. We're setting up our bald guideline right next to the ear canal, and this is going to assure us that we're going to have enough space to fade it all the way to the top. No guard open, we're going to start by fading our beard out. I just go 1, 2, 3, so closed, midway open. Now we're halfway open. Yes sir, knock it down. You don't need big sections. And now we're all the way open. Make sure to just connect it, and we're actually going to connect it with a zero guard, as you can see in a few seconds. With the zero guard all the way open, we're going to go with the grain and try to connect our beard to the sides. Right here, we're going to flip the clipper over and go against the grain, making sure that the canvas is clean, and we keep on combing. Closing the lever halfway, we're going to go ahead and go right under where we left off, making sure that we stay consistent. With the lever all the way closed, we're going to go ahead and close this panel out. Using the corners of the blade, we're going to make sure that we finesse this fade in. The blade open, we're going to go ahead and attack our fade, or our taper in this instance. As you can see, I'm indicating where I want to stop. Going up about ½ an inch, I'm staying real consistent. I don't have a big area to fade, so I want to be real detailed in my strokes. With the lever halfway closed, I'm going to go right beneath where I left off and make sure that this blend is blended. With the lever all the way closed, I'm going to close this panel out and make sure that we're ready to move on to the next section. So with the zero guard all the way open, we're going to go and establish our second section. Still using the corners of the blade, we do not want to do too much. You just want to kind of flick it in. Comb the hair down and make sure that your canvas is clean. It's going to make your whole job a lot easier. With the zero guard halfway open, we're going to go right beneath where we left off with the last guideline. Closing that lever all the way, we're going to go right beneath where we left off again and close out this panel to make sure that we move on to the next step properly. Now slapping on the one guard all the way open, we're going to go ahead and try to connect our fade to the rest of the hair. Make sure to pull the skin with the opposite thumb to make sure that you have a flat surface to work on. Closing the lever halfway, we're going to go right underneath where we left off. At this point, we're really not trying to create no lines, we're really trying to blend it in with the longer hair. And now with the lever all the way closed, we're really going to close this panel out, and after that, what's left is just detailing really. Opening and closing the lever, we're going to go ahead and take out all the dark spots that are undesired in this fade. I like to call it trigger plate, and that's the part of detailing. I noticed a couple dark spots, so I take my blending shears and I go ahead and take care of the business. When using shears, you want to have a still blade and a moving blade. So if you notice, the blade that has teeth is actually not moving, and the other one is what's feeding the hair into the teeth. So here you got it. That's the final cut. I'm about to fast forward the next side because you already know what's going on. I have a little surprise for you at the end. It's gonna be a color enhancement, so stick with me. Last week I went to the CT Barber Expo. This was a life-changing experience for me. I met a lot of people that I messed with, that I actually started looking up to and started this whole YouTube account off of. So man, shout out to y'all, Chris Basio, shout out to 360 Jeezy, shout out to Truco the Barber, shout out to Vic Bland, shout out to everybody doing their thing in this business, man. I love this industry. I feel like y'all can hear it in my voice, and we gonna keep on winning. As y'all can see, this haircut is already on fire, but we're gonna use the XL Beam Team compressor to make sure that this haircut is even litter. I'm spraying some alcohol to make sure that there's no oil or dirt or residue on his skin. So this enhancement lasts up to a week. It's made by Tomb 45, just like this compressor that I'm seeing right now. You can go on tomb45.com to purchase anything that you're seeing right there. I mess with them heavy. Easy like 1, 2, 3. You just mix the mixture and pour it out in the gun. As it's in the gun, you can start shooting away. The more layers you add onto the skin, the darker it's going to be, so take that in consideration. I would take a business card to actually block out the skin. Anything that you take is going to be stained, so don't take something that you might have to reuse. Take something that you can throw away afterwards. Once I hit that corner with that enhancement, you're really going to see the power of it. As I said, enhancements is not something that you use to cover a bad haircut, but more to enhance a great one. Homie liked this so much that he asked me to add it on to his beard, making it a little bit fuller. I mean, whatever makes your clients happy, man, make it happen. This is the final look. As y'all can see, the corners are looking sharpy. I want to thank everybody for watching this video. Comment, like, share, subscribe if you learned anything or if you actually just appreciated it. I'll mess with y'all. I'll see you on the next video. It's your boy Picasso. We signing off. He